Polish child will call you.
Back in 1975, these songs were everywhere, on the radio, in cars, at parties, late at night when the world seemed a little quieter. But something happened over the years. Many of these hits slowly disappeared from the conversation, not because they weren't great songs, but because time moved on. Yet the moment they start playing again, the memories come flooding back. Today, we're revisiting 10 forgotten one-hit wonders from 1975 that once helped define the sound of an era.
Kicking off our list is How Long by Ace.
Just a few notes from the opening bass line, and most 1970s music fans instantly recognize How Long. Yet many people no longer remember the band behind the hit. Ace was a group from Sheffield, England, led by the smooth vocals of Paul Carrack. While many listeners assumed the song was about a failed romance, it was actually inspired by tension within the band after a member secretly worked with another group. Released in 1975, How Long became a major hit in America, reaching number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. For a brief moment, Ace seemed destined for lasting success. Although the band eventually faded from the charts, Paul Carrack went on to enjoy a long and successful career. Even so, How Long remains the song that first brought him widespread recognition and introduced the world to his unforgettable voice.
Don't admit that it's part of a scheme, and you said you was never intending. Baby, falling in love, I'm falling in love again.
Coming in at number 2 on the list is Fallin' in Love by Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds.
For millions of Americans, the summer of 1975 had its own soundtrack, and it was Fallin' in Love. With its smooth, soft rock sound, gentle harmonies, and easygoing keyboard melody, the song quickly became one of the year's biggest hits. For Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds, it was the breakthrough they had been waiting for. After years of only modest success, they finally landed the song that carried them all the way to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Well, I could never see what fate had planned for me. Well, it seems like yesterday, you and I first loved it.
But behind that success was a surprising twist. By the time Fallin' in Love reached the top of the charts, Reynolds had already left the group. Dan Hamilton and Joe Frank Carollo carried on with a new member, while keeping the familiar band name fans already knew. Unfortunately, they never had another hit quite as big. Still, with Fallin' in Love, the group secured its place in the memories of an entire generation. And even today, all it takes is that familiar melody to bring back the summer of 1975.
Maybe you can see all the things you've meant to me. Well, lay at midnight hour, feel love hit the town, lost round by the wind.
After the highs of Falling in Love comes the heartbreak of Sky High by Jigsaw.
Back in 1975, few Americans had ever heard of Jigsaw, but everything changed when Sky High began climbing the radio charts. Driven by dramatic strings, a soaring melody, and Days Dyer's signature falsetto, the song quickly became one of the year's biggest hits. It reached no. 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and cracked the top 10 in countries around the world. For Jigsaw, it was a life-changing breakthrough.
I love how things to fly. I have to give. Why did it have to stop?
The band had been recording since the mid-1960s, but had never achieved major success. Almost overnight, they went from relative obscurity to international recognition. Yet, Sky High would prove to be their only major hit in America. Later releases failed to capture the same magic, earning Jigsaw a place among the classic one-hit wonders of the 1970s. Still, whenever those opening notes play, Sky High instantly brings listeners back to the golden age of radio in 1975.
I gave you love. I thought that we'd blown it all sky high.
Coming in at number 4 is a love song overflowing with happiness, Lovin' You by Minnie Riperton.
Lovin' You is easy. Just a few words, yet they're enough to take many people back to 1975. Today, Lovin' You is remembered as one of the most beautiful love songs of the 1970s. But few people realize that the melody began as a lullaby Minnie Riperton often sang to her young daughter Maya, together with her husband, Richard Rudolph. She developed it into a complete song while preserving the gentle warmth that made it so special.
Stay with me while we grow old and we will live. And every time that I'm more in love.
When the record reached radio stations, it stood out immediately amid the rock, soul, and disco hits dominating America at the time. Listeners quickly fell in love with it. In April 1975, Lovin' You reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the biggest hit of Minnie Riperton's career. Sadly, she passed away in 1979 at just 31 years old. Yet more than half a century later, the song remains as timeless as ever, a simple lullaby that became part of an entire generation's memories.
Making love with you is all I want. Every day of my life is filled with love and you.
Holding the number 5 spot on our list of the biggest songs of 1975 is Magic by Pilot. If there's one song that captures the joyful spirit of 1975, it's definitely Magic. Oh ho ho ho! It's Magic. Just a few seconds are enough for America to recognize this melody. Pilot wasn't a typical teen idol band. They were musicians from Scotland, more used to working in recording studios than standing on stage. But with Magic, everything changed. The song exploded on radio almost immediately and soon became the biggest hit of their career. Its bright, crisp, and incredibly catchy sound was crafted at Abbey Road, the legendary studio where countless iconic recordings were made. No heavy message, no complex technique, just a melody that makes people feel happy. And sometimes that's all you need. That's the real magic of Magic, a song that truly lives up to its name.
I love a sunny day, dream of far away, lazy day in bed, music in my head, crazy music, fly me high through the starry sky.
At number 6 is Dream Weaver by Gary Wright, a song that feels like drifting through a dream in the heart of the 1970s.
While most hit songs of the era were built around guitars and traditional rock bands, Gary Wright took a completely different approach, creating the track almost entirely with keyboards and synthesizers, a bold move at the time. The idea for Dream Weaver came after Wright's trip to India, where he began reflecting more deeply on life and spirituality. Those experiences helped shape the song's unique atmosphere.
Just close my eyes again. Ooh, dream weaver.
What's especially interesting is that many of the sounds heard in the track would later become common in 1980s pop music, but Dream Weaver arrived nearly a decade earlier. The song climbed to No. 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the biggest hit of Gary Wright's career. Among the thousands of hits released during the 1970s, Dream Weaver still holds a place all its own, virtually a one-of-a-kind record from its era.
Fly me high through the starry sky, cross the highways of fantasy. 'Cause love won't let me wait.
Next up is a soulful ballad filled with longing, passion, and romantic anticipation, Love Won't Let Me Wait by Major Harris.
You don't have to hear the whole song to recognize it. Just one line is enough. Not one more minute, baby. In 1975, that lyric was playing on radios all across America. And before long, listeners fell in love with the song. In a year filled with high-energy rock hits, Love Won't Let Me Wait stood out for a completely different reason. Slower, smothered, and far more intimate.
Please tell me yes, and I refuse to leave till I.
Major Harris didn't sing like he was performing for thousands of people. He sang as if there was only one person listening. Maybe that's why the song connected so deeply with audiences. It climbed to No. 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the biggest hit of Harris's career.
We'll take a flight, take a little for myself, and hasten
Next up, leaving the romantic emotions behind, it's time for the fun, retro-flavored groove of 18 with a Bullet by Pete Wingfield.
This wasn't the kind of song anyone expected to become a major hit. After all, Pete Wingfield was a session pianist and record producer, someone who usually worked behind the scenes. But in 1975, he suddenly found himself with a hit of his own. What makes this song so memorable is its title.
My finger on the trigger, I'm gonna pull it. So hold it right there, little girl, we gonna have big fun.
18 with a Bullet was a radio industry term for a record that was climbing the charts fast. And incredibly, when the song finished its run on the Billboard Hot 100, it landed at exactly number 18. Exactly no 18, not higher, not lower. If someone had written that detail into a movie, people probably would have said it was too perfect to be true. For a musician who spent most of his career behind the scenes, it became the most memorable moment of Pete Wingfield's career, and perhaps the most famous number 18 in Billboard history.
Last forever, and I'll be good to you. Until I'm in your heart, I ain't never gonna stop.
From the upbeat retro vibe of 18 with a Bullet, we now slow things down and drift into the soft, poetic world of Poetry Man by Phoebe Snow. Phoebe Snow didn't need a lavish studio or a massive production team to create something special. And after just a few lines of Poetry Man, you'll hear why. A graceful blend of folk, jazz, and soft rock provides the perfect backdrop for her greatest strength, her voice.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. You're bashful boy.
Because some songs become hits because of the melody, and some are remembered forever because of the person singing them. Poetry Man is one of those songs. It wasn't Phoebe Snow's only hit, but it was the song that came to define her name.
You are a genie, make me laugh. It's time to say so long and sorry, cause the Polish child will call you.
Number 10, Don't Call Us, We'll Call You Sugarloaf. Not every hit song begins with a yes. This one began with a rejection. By 1975, Sugarloaf was no longer a new name, but when they tried to get the attention of major record labels, they kept hearing the same response. Don't call us, we'll call you. Instead of giving up, the band decided to do the exact opposite. They turned those words into a song.
Distance, directory assistance, every code 212. I say, hey, call us.
And this time, the audience was on their side. The record climbed to number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and gave Sugarloaf another major hit. It may not have been the ending the record labels expected, but it was exactly the ending Sugarloaf wanted.
Got your name from a friend of a friend. He said he used to work with you. You remember the kid you paid for the car? You ain't bad, but we heard it all before.
So those were 10 of the songs that helped define 1975. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which song on this list is your personal number 1? And is there a song you think deserved a spot in the top 10 but didn't make the cut? Let me know in the comments below. I read almost every comment, and I always enjoy hearing your musical memories. If you love the classic hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.